What's up, guys? Ruben the Builder here. Day in the life of what it's like to be a builder. I want to take you guys along the entire day and show you what it's like to be a builder. This is my little daughter, Eleanor. She's a little cutie. Mom's gonna go to a birthday brunch, so I'm just watching her while she gets ready. So let's go make a cup of coffee and get the day started. Agenda for today is gonna be, we have inspections scheduled for Fircrest, which is we're just getting into framing. We had a few corrections for our concrete wedge anchors, which I'll show you exactly what those are. And then we have some permits to resubmit. So we're gonna have to jump on the computer, answer a bunch of emails and get the corrections back to the right subcontractors. Work on C3 calculations. I'm super excited to tell you about those. And then, yeah, we'll see. We'll go from there. I'm not gonna put it by her.
Do you not have the same one?
Yeah. Okay, ready, Eleanor? You ready? Oh no, the latte art is ruined for today. Normally what I do is I make a cup of coffee, I read the Bible. Today is the 25th, so Proverbs 25 is a good one to read. Let's see. Let's pick something random. Like a drink of cool water refreshes a weary, thirsty soul. So hearing good news revives the spirit. So you need to hear good news and you will feel alive. What else is there? There you go, here's a good one. If you live without restraint and are unable to control your temper, you're as helpless as a city with broken down defenses, open to attack. So control your temper. Use patience and kindness when you want to persuade leaders and watch them change their minds right in front of you. For your gentle wisdom will quell the strongest resistance. That's for my inspector. So we're gonna drive to Fircrest. We're gonna go first job site of the day. Make sure permits are organized. We have inspections today and the first floor walls are going up, so super exciting. What's up, Mark? Super excited to have you on board. One of my favorite things about taking on a new mentorship client, because we don't take on that many, is just helping you guys avoid all of the mistakes and pitfalls that we made. Man, I made so many mistakes, and looking back, they were 100% avoidable. And so that's the biggest thing that I can leave you with is, take everything we say with the perspective of been there, done that, and it comes with a lot of learning lessons. And sure, you're gonna get a lot of experience through this process, but the biggest thing is some action is better than no action whatsoever. And so in my life, I realized it's better to start, make a few mistakes, but then once you actually get started, you realize and everything starts to click in place like a puzzle. One of the most important things I'm going to be able to teach you is finding the right land and underwriting the numbers. That's what I've realized has been a common denominator in all of my deals. Everything else is a lot more simple than other people make it out to be. So congratulations, super excited to have you on board. Super excited to see you do your first build, start to finish with us, and looking forward to it, man. Give me a little bit of background on you, yourself, what you've been through, kind of your goals, and we'll plan out a game plan for you on exactly what I would do if I was in your shoes starting where you are. So we just took on a new mentorship client, super exciting. We're able to teach people nationwide on how to build houses, start to finish, help them find deals in any market. What we've realized and learned is that finding deals and underwriting them is probably one of the hardest things to do in the real estate space. Everything else is easy to find. For example, we have a foundation contractor out on site and he has 25 years of experience. We have a framer on site. I think we'll ask him, but I think he said he's been framing for 20 years. Guys, there's not enough lifetimes for me to learn foundation, framing, electrical, plumbing, all those different trades. And so me as a builder, as a GC, I'll hire out those trades, use their experience, and I'll simply manage them. And so I think it's really important to understand that you can't do everything. especially if you want to do everything physically yourself. It's not possible. And so it's better to hire them out. Yeah, you might have to do a few more projects rather than just do one long project that might take you 1, 2, 3 years. But you'll be able to accomplish a whole lot more because you're relying on the experience and professionalism of the subcontractors. And then the inspectors are checking their work. And then obviously you have the bank inspectors as well to get the money from the construction loan. So I think those are the key factors in being a general contractor. It's in simple words, it's adult babysitting.
Hey, I'm over here at your job. Your dirt guy, he called in water lines today.
Okay.
They're not even completed yet, and he doesn't have any trench out to where the meters are. They want me to call him, but I mean, plumbers are here putting it in, but they can't. There's no trench for them to install it.
Let me call him because he said it was going to be done last night. So I don't know what happened. Maybe he had maybe something happened, but he told me he was installing it last night. So.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm just saying he doesn't have a trench done yet. So I mean, if he's going to come back and do a trench, that's fine. And then he's got the plumbers are saying that the dirt guy, he's putting the tracer wire on the water line. Is that true?
Usually, yeah. My tracer guy, since the excavator's digging it open, he'll put the wire on.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. It just needs to be, in a trench. It needs to be dug in, minimum depth and all that.
24 inches?
What's that?
24 inches, right?
No, water lines are 12 inches.
12 inches,
so they're
okay.
below the cross line, yeah.
Okay.
Another thing is over here on lot 7, I think it's your excavator, but someone just mangled up your hold downs in front of your garage. It's bad.
Rough. Okay. I'm on my way there, so I'll be there soon.
Yeah.
Either way, but
yeah,
not good.
You're gonna have to get with your structural engineer and have him analyze that, because you can't bend them like what I'm seeing. They're mangled bad. Like it looks like the excavator hit him or pulled him or did something. I don't know what happened, but the concrete's all spalled out the front. So
okay.
Go to your engineer and figure it out.
Okay, sounds good.
He may have you pour that whole stem wall again. I don't know. It's up to him, but we can't approve any of that stuff. And there's a certain way that you can bend those types of straps, those hold downs, but it's specific. Simpson only lets you bend them one time to a 90 degree, and then back up. These things are like pulled to the side. It's bad.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look at it and talk to your guy, but you're definitely gonna have to address it with the engineer.
Okay, we'll do. I'll make sure to reach out to my engineer, and then depending on what they say, we'll get it done.
Okay, yeah. Make sure you talk to them about maybe being more careful, because that's bad, man. That's costing you time and money to have to fix all that stuff. That's pretty bad craftsmanship as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
If it's your excavator, that's the only guy that's been working here, and they weren't bent like that the other day when I was here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the excavator, so I'll give him a call. We'll figure it out regardless.
Okay. All right. Have a good day, Ruben.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So construction game, stuff like this happens all the time. So we have hold downs in the front of the garage. Once we get on site, I'll show you exactly what those are. But essentially, he bent them too much, and that can cause kind of like stress in the metal. You know how you can bend metal back and forth, and it gets weaker. So definitely not good. So what we're gonna have to do is call the excavator. He probably did it, most likely when he was backfilling. And then we'll snap pictures, send it to the structural engineer, make sure that it's okay, or if it's not okay, you either have to cut out that concrete, re-pour that little stem wall, or the engineer will write a memo. And all a memo is basically a letter saying, hey, it's totally okay, it's not a big problem. You can move forward on construction. And so right now we're going to call that excavator, ask him, hey, why aren't the water lines done? Because he said he would get them done. It's my fault as a GC for not verifying that it was complete last night and either canceling inspection or rescheduling inspection. And then we'll ask about the hold down. So let's give him a call. Let's figure it out. Inspector's not happy. Could you give me a call back? Let me know he's on site right now. send something like that. What I've realized is voice text in business in general is really good because they hear your tonality. And sometimes if I text the words, inspector's on site, he's not happy, he might, assume and freak out. But if I send him listening to my voice, oftentimes he'd be like, okay, everything's fine, we'll solve it, and cause less stress to other people by the way you talk to them. Control your temper. Hey, that was in Proverbs today. So, yep, that's how it is. So this is what the inspector was talking about when he called me on the phone. He was talking about the hold downs being all mangled up and twisted. So we got Rudy the framer. Here, let me go like this. Go. No. Yeah. Go. So, what's gonna end up happening is, we're gonna get the walls up. We're gonna nail this down. We'll get it straight again. Most likely, the inspector's gonna either have pictures of this or put it as a correction to get fixed. My job now is to take pictures of it, send it to the engineer, and then depends on what she says. We either rip out this section of concrete, re-pour it, or we patch it up maybe. We'll see what she says. So we'll go from there. Email looks like, this is what the email looks like. Hi, Ann. The inspector wasn't too happy about these bent hold-down straps for the garage. He wanted me to send you an email to verify we are good to move forward or if we need a repair. Let me know. And I sent a photo. So that's kind of it's a very normal situation, to be honest, and go from there. So let's talk about post and beam here for a little bit. So something new that I learned about post and beam is very interesting. This new type of PT has a strong chemical. I don't know exactly what it is, but it can react with this metal right here, and it can actually corrode it over a long period of time. And so a new detail that we have to follow nowadays is we have to put this Vicor, which is just a plastic kind of membrane material that keeps it from touching this metal. So the wood can't touch the metal because it can corrode. And then we have just a normal hanger. I believe if you use a Z-Max hanger, all that means is a special type of hanger that you don't have to put this Vicor, but most of the time they're too expensive and they're out of stock. And so we just use the regular hangers that are allowed for this, put the Vicor, put the PT, and then we can hang these joists. This is a 8-inch wall, and this is a 2x10 PT. And if you can see on the inside, we have to rip it, which means we just have to cut a long strip off of the edge of it so that it's flush with the wall. Actually, we even have it hang off just a 1/2 inch so that the hanger hangs off of the concrete and this piece of wood is not actually touching the concrete. And so that's how the post and beam is done. We install it. This is now going to be the floor. As you can see, they're sheeting it over there, so we can walk on that floor in a little bit. But essentially, that's the process. Once post and beam is complete, foundation is complete, we backfill the garage just like this. This is where you can park your car. And then we'll start picking up walls. So it'll be pretty exciting. We'll see how fast we can finish this site. What else did the inspector say? Water line? Let's go check out the water line. So inspector said water line wasn't ready. So we have here some kind of, I think he started digging it out, but he didn't finish. So our job now is going to be to find out why and then get it done. So this water line is going to get connected down into this hole right here. It'll run this way. And then what tracer wire is basically this right here. This is tracer wire. And so essentially if somebody ever needed to, there'd be a blue wire for the water line. They can connect to it, send an electrical signal, and then trace it in the ground with a radar, sonar type of, like, you know, on the beach when they look for metal, it's kind of similar thing. And they can find it and then trace it with spray paint. And so that's how they can find the water line in the future. That's how they can find the sewer line. And then that's also how they could potentially find the rain drain or storm line. What's interesting is you can see we don't have any kind of tracer line on the storm line. Not a big deal because the storm line, you can also put like a camera scope down into it, and you can trace the camera as well. So there's always ways to find those utilities in the future. But today we got sewer passed. We're getting water. Water is going to be, I guess I'll reschedule it later today. I'll show you how I reschedule those inspections. And then the next inspection that we'll be scheduling is shear walls, which is going to be the entire building as a whole, the exterior engineering walls. And so all we're going to do on site is look at what the engineer said, and then make sure that we pass that inspection and that we built those walls per the plans. That's all it is. Okay, so because this is a duplex, which is essentially two houses next to each other side by side, we have two walls that connect the two buildings, two separate walls. And on the inside of the wall, we have that yellow plywood, which is basically like, it's called dense glass. It's like a fire rated material. We have to install it, nail it per a certain nailing pattern. And so while the walls are down on the floor, we have to partially inspect them before we pick them up, and you'll never see them again, the nails. And so right now, I'm asking Rudy, and I said, Rudy, when do you want me to schedule a partial inspection for that firewall? And you said tomorrow?
Yeah,
okay, so tomorrow the walls will be ready and on the floor. We'll get them inspected, and then we can pick them up. So what I'll do is I'll walk the site as much as possible while they're laying down the plywood, because the inspector can fail me if there's debris and wood laying inside of the crawl space, because it's organic material and it can invite rodents or whatever. And so oftentimes I'll clean it out, or I'll even get a blower and just kind of blow it, try to blow it out and sweep it into a little pile and take it out. So really important to keep your crawl space clean, especially before you sheet it and cover it. That's pretty much it for today for Fircrest. We have our probably 4 or 5 action item lists that we need to do. We sent an email to the engineer. We need to schedule partial inspection. We were negotiating with the framer a little bit on price. We had a little bit of miscommunication, so we're gonna figure that out, talk through that, finalize that, make sure the excavator gets out here for the water line, reschedule that inspection. And so the item list is adding up. Once we get in the office, we're gonna knock it out. I tried to do it on my phone. For some reason, it wasn't loading. AT&T, do better. Yeah, and pretty soon, I think maybe tomorrow, the walls will be on the floor, laying down, ready to inspect, and then they'll pick them up, and we're gonna start seeing an actual building. It's gonna be super exciting. And then I'm gonna get ready to schedule dig out for the next 4 units, next 2 buildings down there, which will be pretty exciting. So we're moving. This is construction in general. It's really making sure you show up on site, talking to your inspectors, being respectful, and then catching these little things, making a to-do list, and getting it actually done, because there's a good chance that I can go to the office, I can sit down and schedule inspection, and we could be 2 days out, which sucks, because, you know, a whole day of doing what? I don't know. We could, because we're doing 2 buildings, which saves us time, if for some reason inspection is not available tomorrow, they can jump over to this building and start sheeting this building while they're waiting inspection on that one. And so we can kind of save time on schedule like that. But that's kind of the general process. Construction management isn't hard, but you do have to be diligent, create lists, and make sure that you're on top of it. Truly, it's adult babysitting at its finest, and making sure, you know, trust but verify is the saying that I go by all the time. Trust what they say, but verify that it got done. I didn't do that last night. The water line's not done. I failed inspection. It's not good to waste inspector's time to have him come out here. The good news is he came out here for a different inspection, and that was kind of 2 for 1. So at least he didn't waste his drive out here. But inspectors are really busy. There's multiple days where we're fully packed out with 120 inspections per day. And so good to respect the inspector's time. So something that just kind of popped in my mind as I was getting ready to leave the site is I see the spray paint here to dig out the water line, but then I see this material right here. And so I'm just assuming, I don't know, but there's a good chance that potentially the excavator didn't finish digging out
because he didn't want to move the material. And you know, fair game, I get it. It's not his job to move the material or have it placed in the way. And so we'll see what he says, but regardless, there's a little bit of trash ready to clean up. And so I'll get a contractor out here to clean up the trash and load it up and keep a clean job site. But that might be the reason why he didn't finish the water line. Could be. Alrighty guys, so we got our checklist done. We're heading back to the office. We're gonna knock that out as soon as we get there. In the meantime, I had one of my mentorship students text me, and he's not sure if he should do the personal house game or the investment game. And so I'm gonna respond to him right now. Check this out, this is super cool. This is just something that I've learned over the years, and man, it's helped me out so much. Hey man, so what I would recommend is exactly what Arthur said. I would definitely do both. Here's the reason why. One, personal house is only 5% down, and with the amount of capital that you have available, you can do both a personal house and an investment at the same time using private or hard money. And so what this can look like is you can start building your personal house and then start building your investment property at the same time. You can move into the personal house, live there for 2 years, and profit and sell as much as doing potentially 3, 4, maybe even 5 investment properties. The down payment is 4 times more on an investment property versus a personal house. And the personal house game is completely tax-free after 2 years, up to $500,000 if you're married. I'm just assuming that. And so I'd love to help you play that game. Even to this day, I'm building 100 plus houses right now. I have I think like 114 in permitting, and we just broke ground on 8. I'm still building a personal house right now every 2 years, because one personal house is as profitable as building 3, 4, 5 investment houses. You get to live in a brand new house, you get to enjoy it, you get to design it the way that you want, and you get to make more profit because the down payment's smaller, the interest payments are smaller, and it's a very similar process to building for investment, and it doesn't take much time. And then depending on your personality, character, and kind of like what you like to do, you can either become a licensed GC and do this completely on your own, or you can probably spend 30 minutes to an hour a day just kind of managing the build a little bit and hiring a GC to do all of the actual work, scheduling. The biggest thing I say is schedule, scope, and budget. And so they're gonna watch over those 3 things for you on your behalf, and your job is just to check in and make sure that the GC is doing his job. And then the GC will keep all the subcontractors completely accountable. That GC typically costs 10% of cost. So if you plan to build a $500,000 house, you're gonna pay that GC $50,000 to manage that house start to finish, 6 to 12 months, whatever, however long it takes him to build it, depending on the complexity of the house. By any chance, have you gotten a pre-approval yet? What is your current pre-approval on what you can buy? Let's just say just a regular mortgage. What's your pre-approval? Then we can work backwards and see how much nicer of a house you can actually end up building yourself and how much equity you can create from that. Guys, if you're looking to get mentored just like this guy, I'm helping people across the nation do the exact same, build houses start to finish, and most importantly, finding the best land and running the numbers, the most important thing, and get over 6 figures of profit on their very first deal. Click that link below. Would love to see if you're a good fit. I just got off the phone with my excavator. The reason why the water line wasn't done was not because of the trash. It was actually because he called 811, call before you dig, and they're supposed to mark out all of the lines. And in that area, there's a power line, and I believe another line as well. And so he really wanted those marked out. Totally fair. That's 100% good call by him. So call before you dig is gonna come out and mark out those, spray paint those lines, and then we're gonna excavate and reschedule inspection. Totally normal, everything's good, guys. All right, guys, so just had a few meetings. It's time for lunch. Today, I have the very special honor of going out to lunch with Arthur, the developer. Turns out he's actually my brother, which is super cool that I get to be a builder and he gets to be a developer. One of the most fascinating things about a developer to me is that you can be completely unlicensed, have zero insurance, nothing, and you can be a one-man team and work from a desk. So I'm gonna let Arthur,
what up, y'all?
Give his little intro. We're about to get some lunch. Arthur, drop some gold nuggets.
Food sounds good right now. That's a good nugget. No, I would say he's absolutely right. I think the biggest key factor is I'm not licensed. I love when people comment, be like, well, you're a builder. And I say, no, I'm not. I find land. I underwrite it to make sure it makes sense. I lock in the funding, so loans to build it, and then I hire the GC builder. Could be Ruben, could be somebody in California, Indiana, Chicago, Florida, Texas. We have builders across the nation that we work with, or I partner with, and that's it. I'm off to the races, and I'm just making sure they follow the schedule, they follow the budget, which we lock in contracts with with the builder and the subs, and then they follow the scope, which is what we're trying to build. So that's really it. That's in a nutshell what a developer does.
So one of the really cool things that even I've learned over the past maybe 5-6 years of being a builder is that it can actually be a very high income earning skill with almost no risk to you as a GC. What do I mean by that? Well, if I build 10 to 20 houses a year for another client, I have zero liability on the loan, right? I'm not carrying debt. And truly all I'm doing is being a glorified project manager or adult babysitter, and I get paid a 10% fee on cost. So let's just say that each house is going to cost $500,000 to build, and I get hired to manage that. I'll get a 10%, $50,000 fee to manage that house. If I manage 10 houses, I can make $500,000 a year in gross income just project managing. Now, if I want to hire a project manager under me, I could do that. If you're really efficient and you're doing a really good job and you're super organized, you can manage up to 20 houses at once. And you can make $1 million a year just by being a new construction GC. Now, mind you, this is completely different than doing remodeling. Remodeling is a ton of unknowns. And in the new construction game, it's all literally per plan. So you show up on site, the framer frames the building per the plans, and then the inspector checks the framer's work per the approved plans and the code. And it's not my job to be an expert framer, although I've learned on the right way to do framing over the years of just watching and having so many different corrections come up. But the point is that's really cool is that you can have a high income earning skill, have almost no liability carrying debt while running a project, and then on the side you can do 1, 2, 3 developments over time and create yourself wealth over the next 5 to 10 years in this game. So I love real estate. It is so versatile. There are so many different exit strategies possible in this game. Rentals, Airbnbs, you name it. And so that's why I love the game. Real estate has become my whole life. I used to print t-shirts. I don't know if you know my story, but I was in $250,000 of debt, got out through the new construction game, and it absolutely set me free financially. If you haven't ever considered being a GC, consider it. If you're not very maybe talented with actual construction knowledge and maybe project management, then consider being a developer just like Arthur. It is so cool and it's such a fun thing to do. As you guys can see, guys, this is my real day-to-day life. Like, this is exactly what I do all day long.
We're here.
Got some Turkish tea. I recently went to Istanbul, well, recently, about a year ago for a missionary trip. Fell in love with it. The coolest thing ever. Turkish tea, delicious. All right, guys, so one of the biggest questions that I have for Arthur is, I've built many projects for lots of different people, investors, developers, you name it. But for some reason I've noticed, and this is not just because he's my brother, but his deals for some reason are in the best locations, and somehow they're also like a really nice product. And I think that's a really important factor in when you're doing a deal, is making sure that the location is right. Because location, 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 you know the old real estate adage that that's how projects sell. And then 2, what are you actually building? You know, I've built these 3-story tiny units where there's not enough room to put a couch and a TV, or you walk in the front door and you're walking into the couch. It sucks. So Arthur, my biggest question to you is, number 1, how do you find your deals, right? And then number 2, what sets you apart from the way that you find your deals?
So I'd say there's a lot of different channels to off-market and how you find deals. The reason I like off-market, and you're mentioning these better deals, I have my plans, everything else, is I don't have to compete with everybody else. I can, 1, target what I want.
You mean, so you're saying you find most of your deals off-market?
Off-market.
Okay.
And I get to target which areas I want to be in, locations. I get to target what type of lots I want, and then I get to negotiate whatever terms I want with the property owners.
Wow, okay, so the secret sauce to finding your best deals is going to be not on the MLS.
Correct. 95% of what I'm doing is off-market, meaning it's not listed on Redfin, on Zillow. Doesn't mean agents aren't involved, because some property owners have agents that want to be represented by them. But the key is I'm able to negotiate. I've negotiated 2-3 year contracts for development deals.
Whoa. A normal real estate contract's like 30 days.
30 days. But that doesn't mean that you have to stick to that. Terms are what you and the person agree on. Me and you can agree we'll close on a property in 6 months or in 5 days. It all comes down to an agreement. The standard according to the MLS is 30 days, sometimes 45. So what I like to do is if I'm locking up a bigger development, I do long-term contracts. If I'm locking up to build one house, I'll do a 3 to 4 month contract to get enough time to get plans, permits, and ready to close and lock in my financing. That reduces my risk to a small amount, because if I'm already approved to build the plans, I can build the house.
Okay, so that's actually super interesting to me. Can you give me, for example, maybe you don't have to share exactly, but give me the terms for your 3-year contract, because that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so usually for a development, this is where you're creating a full 20 lot subdivision. I like to do 3-4 months of feasibility. So I study the property, find out how much it's gonna cost, make sure it all pencils. Then I do a closing period of the remainder 2.5 years.
Whoa, so you don't own the land at all
No.
during this process?
No.
See, that's what always is so interesting to me as a builder, as a GC. Like, I make my income when he brings me the finished lots, but he's locking them up for 3 years without even owning the land and getting the approvals.
Yep.
And so at what point do you own the land? When you put the road in or after?
When I'm approved, I close on it and I start building the roads.
Wow, okay. And so,
Because the value, when it's approved, the value is significantly more than it is just bare dirt. So if it's just a piece of property that is not approved for anything, it's worth one price. If I go get all the permitting done, it's worth a much higher price.
whoa, so you're telling me that just a stack of papers makes the land that much more?
And some money.
No, but I mean, like, just those approvals in hand, without any roads done,
Yep.
the land is worth a lot more.
Yep.
So you're adding value to the land through the development, through the paperwork, and then you close on it, and then you put in the roads, the sewer, the water. What happens after that?
Exactly. Then you break ground. Once you create those lots, then a builder comes on board. I either sell you lots or I build them for myself.
Dude, that is so cool.
There we go.
Thank you.
My fault. Thank you.
I love this spot, boys. First bite, 10 out of 10.
Wow.
The meat is soft. Meat is marinated. I'm a big protein kind of guy. All right, Arthur.
Wow.
Arthur did it today.
We just had lunch. We're going out to my favorite coffee shop in downtown Vancouver called Compass Coffee. If you're ever here, you have to check it out. It's the best. Making the latte. That's gonna be kind of cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, huge.
It's been a bit.
Are you gonna hear what you're saying in the background?
So cool.
You should have a Ritter do it. Ritter's really good at latte art. So are you, girl? Pop off.
Show it off to the camera when you're done too. Wow.
I'm shaking.
Okay, so right now, I'll show you the actual day in the life of a builder, and I'm scheduling an interior shear wall inspection. So what's gonna happen is we have what's called dense glass in between the two walls, in between a duplex, right? And so in case a fire starts in duplex A, we don't want it to transfer into building B for at least 1 hour. So that's called a 1 hour firewall. We're gonna have 2 of those, so a total of 2 hours for it to burn through one wall to the second wall and start burning down the second unit. That 2 hours gives enough time for the second people to get out, worst case scenario. And so in order to inspect the nailing that's gonna be on the inside of those walls, we have to do a partial shear wall inspection. That's what it's called. And so while the walls are built on the floor, laying down, we're gonna do a partial inspection, finish it, and then pick the walls up, if that makes sense. So we're gonna go ahead and schedule the first inspection, 150 shear wall interior, partial for interior firewall, dense glass nailing is what we're gonna say. Please call me. I am nearby. Copy, paste, because I have to schedule this 4 times for 4 different units. Schedule inspection, most likely it's booked up for tomorrow. And so this is gonna determine what we're gonna do next. If it schedules, great, perfect, it's scheduled. So in this case, tomorrow we have inspection scheduled, everything is good. But in the case that it wouldn't schedule and it would say, hey, the schedule is full, what's the next step that we're doing as a builder? We're trying to figure out, hey, how can we save time? In other words, if we can't get inspection tomorrow, then we're gonna have to schedule it for the next day, which is Friday, and we have to make sure that the framers are busy tomorrow because we want somebody on site every single day. So if it was busy, we'd say, hey, framers, jump over to the other 2 lots and finish that post and beam and that firewall, and then jump back on Friday, get that inspection done, and then potentially, if we could squeeze and save time, we could get both inspections on Friday. So do you see how there was a potential chance that we could have lost a day in the schedule here, but because we didn't, I was already planning ahead of time on how to save time, worst case if it was full. And so it's really like, think about that. That's literally just organization and just pre-planning ahead. And now for Monday, I'm gonna be scheduling the other building inspection, or Friday if I can get it done. I'll call my framer right now and find out, hey, I got inspection scheduled for tomorrow for lot 8. Let me know, can you finish both lot 5 and 6 as well? And so that's all being a builder is just being super efficient with the schedule, communicating with the subcontractors, and making sure the site is ready for inspection. Another one of my to-do items is going to be order the water meters. So my job is just to put it in for the order. Most likely they're gonna email me back asking when do I want it installed and also request a fee to be paid. But what I really wanna do is just submit it, even though it's a little bit early right now, and kind of get that process going just in case there's any problems that come up. So that way when I need water, I pay, it's installed within a few days, and I can put the entire house on test. On test simply means like fill up all the pipes from floor to ceiling with water and see if anything leaks out before the drywall goes on and any kind of leaks are happening without me knowing. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. I have to order 4 different meters for the 4 different buildings. Alrighty guys, so for our to-do list, here we go. Schedule the partial shear wall, done. Get the truss date, got that. Bathtubs, yep. Hold down, sent the email to engineer, yes. Water meters, ordering them right now. Water line inspection, reschedule that. Schedule the roofer, pick up the garbage. Scheduled that subcontractor and work with the insulator. Just got that material. That wraps up our to-do list items for Fircrest. We're rolling, we're ready for inspection tomorrow. I'm right now, often what I do is set up cameras at every single job site that I have. And so I can go into the Fircrest job site, and I do this often just to double check and verify so I don't have to drive back out there. And I'm gonna turn on the camera live, and I can see right now, looks like they're finishing up the walls, which is perfect. And we're ready for inspection tomorrow. Worst case, I'll need to double check with the framer, text him, and if it's not ready, I simply cancel it on this online platform. But I got my slot for tomorrow. That's what matters. We're good to go. Alrighty guys, so day in the life of the builder. That's mostly everything for today, specifically regarding that Fircrest project. I am building, 4 units. It takes quite a bit more effort just because I have to schedule 4 different permits. The next steps for today to finish out our day, I have a meeting with a potential investor at 3 p.m. So I'm gonna go to that and see what he's looking for. And then at 4 p.m. I have a mentorship call where actually I'm getting mentored by somebody who sold his business, and I'm learning on how to scale my business and do better in my business. And so I mentor people in what I do, but I also get mentored because I truly believe in that. And I think if life was a game of Monopoly, that's the shortcut. Learning from people that have already made the mistakes and avoiding them and getting that shortcut to success, and you can cut multiple steps on that Monopoly board. So I think today was a productive day, super good, and I'll see you guys out there tomorrow for inspection. Just kidding. Eleanor, you made coffee with me this morning? Yeah? Yeah? You made coffee with me? I'm coming.
So can I go?
Yeah, I'm coming to you. No, I'm coming. I'm driving.
Okay. See you.
All right, see you soon. Oh, I love you too. I love you too. How are you? What's up, Joe? Let me see. Let me see you. Come here. What's up? Hi, Rose. How are you? Hey, did you just
Papa.
wake up from a nap? Oh, what are you doing? You're not coming? Let's go hang out.
Do you want to close up?
Hey guys. Okay. Hey guys, so this is day in the life of the builder. Honestly, this is the part of the day that I look forward to the most, is coming home to my sons and my daughter. She's hiding back there. And we're gonna go hang out right now, spend some father-son time. And like, share, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'd love to teach you how to build. It's absolutely changed my life, got me out of debt, and gave me financial freedom, and I think it can for you too.